Good morning guys and welcome to I Punt Smart. It has been a while since I posted a video. We've been very busy with a lot of additional cool stuff to be implemented for you, but let's just try and cover some of those and do a quick preview of Fairview for today. In the first race, I have to admit that it's interesting that Rosa Dorado is a first timer that's got Richard Fourie booked for the day. Richard Fourie's got a 28% win and a 70% place chance with Kotson. So I would look at any market support for that one for sure. Then Cherry for me, very good debut, 55.7 adjusted time, and it's the straight on combo. Glitter Fox, for me it's the best of the two for Hickey for the day, and he's got 2 lengths to find on our calculations, 2.58 on the bat figure with Sherry. And then Tufan is an interesting one as well. Kennedy's now riding after Matsunyani rode it the first time, and there was some support, 4.55. So that to me means that there's probably more expected over the extra 200 meters. So those would be the ones I would be looking at here. You can also see this new purple line. Essentially what this purple line means is a new column as well here called the L-bat or the line bat. And that's essentially our line horse that we calculate. The same as what a handicapper calculates a line horse. We calculate the line horse based on the same surface, the same distance, the same underfoot conditions, and the same distance category. And then we say this is the line horse to beat if the race is run at a true pace and there is no other outside alternatives being planned for the race, then that line horse is the horse to beat. Moving on to race 2. And in the second, the ratings is extremely interesting here. I think it's a really tough race this to call. So I'm going to start with Tastemaker. Tastemaker had a really good last run, and on that he's the best bat C and the best bat CD, and he now also has blinkers fitted at 25 to 1. You can see that 2.7 figure there is pretty good. He's at 25 to 1. Romanov is another interesting one. He's got the best bat 42, 84 and 168, good adjusted time and a speed rating that's the best in the field over further, and he also retained the appy for the extra 1.5 kilos. Then Miss Rose has the fastest speed rating and now drops in trip to the 1000, so must be respected. Could prefer this 1000. Miss United States, respect him, back to grass, and he's a Joburg X, and it's got John Nell and Richard Fourie going there. And then the favorite Rose of Mine, making his Fairview debut, and he is the favorite, but at that price I think this is quite an open affair. Moving on to the next, the third, and here there's a couple of very interesting runners here for me as well. I'll start with my first choice, Silver Slippers. And his last run was his best run. You can also see that he's got the best bat curve by quite a bit over all his biggest competitors. 2 roughies I want to mention is the first one, Route 66. And then the next one, Fort Snow. Now you can see both of these has ex-Joburg form. Both of them has been running in Fairview and on the poly surface. They both ran their first time on the grass their previous runs. Huge support for Fort Snow from 33 into 10 to 1. And now they're going back to the distance that they really better suited. If you look at Fort Snow, he's got 2 seconds on the turf at Turffontein over the 1600. So definitely a 33 to 1 I have to include. He's got some huge bomb roll figures here, some very good bat figures here compared to the field. And then Route 66 They did run against each other on the 25th of September, and Route 66 1450 here was 2.3 behind the winner, where on that same run 0925 13.1 on Solomon's. So I think a lot has changed since then. I think these two should be very close to each other still today. So both of those I have to put in. And then the next one I want to mention is a foreign affair with Zitz Oorstation. Now I have a gear change and tries this 1600 again. Didn't do very well the previous time on it. But those would be my first four. Moving to the fourth race, and here again, tough race, open race. I'm going to start with Maestro Sonjador. Jockey was kept after a very good last round, beating Homer Fidget by 0.75 lengths, but he's 2.5 lengths worse off now, 2.5 kilos worse off now. But he's got a better draw, and he has had a huge merit rating drop, 63 all the way down to a 55. Then Homer Fidget, the one that I was just referring to now, John L. Fourie, decent bad course and distance run when market preferred to Maestro Sonjador, and he lost to Maestro Sonjador by 0.75 lengths, but he is 2.5 kilos better off now. Then the favourite Opulence. Opulence, he's got by far the best background prior to the rest, but that was on poly and on a 1200 surface. So if he can reproduce that on the grass today, then he's the winner. If he acts on turf, then he should be the winner. But yeah, that's still an unknown. And then First Among Equals, interesting runner, best bat 42 in red and best bat CD. And then I also want to mention with our blessing. Got a really decent rating for a 33 to 1, and he's got some really good support recently on the poly, and he has done okay on the grass before, so potentially a little bit of a danger as well to the rest of the field. Moving on to the fifth race, and here I want to start with Supernoir. Supernoir being our line horse here, you can see the line bat being 0. There is 2 in red, which means outside the distance category. In fact, 3 outside the distance category. That's better over other distance categories, but over this distance category, being the 2000 meters, he is our line horse. If he runs the same as his 1800 Fairview run previously, this 3.22 bat, then he's going to be really hard to beat. And also the fact that Mungo won on him previously, if you see there, the 2200, so that's another thing that looks like this might be a good run for him. My next one I want to mention is Supernoir. You can see some very good low bat figures, all in red because it's outside the 2000 meters. He's tried the 2000 previously, and that 2000 wasn't really good at the time. 2200 he had a second. So yeah, they're trying him again over further today, so let's see how that goes. But definitely want to be including. Then another interesting runner for me is Port Key. If I look at Port Key's older form, then he was ex-Transvaal, and his very last run, 4.85, when he was also running in the same race as Supernoir. He was not far back from a 14 draw, and I would include him in the pick 6 as well today. Then Indigo, very open race this, so there's a lot of outsiders I'm talking about. Big support on the turf, MR96. His merit rating has dropped by 17. So he could surprise on his 1600 Gauteng form. He didn't do so good on a 2000 grass before, but he is better on the grass, on the 2000 poly before, but it looks like he is better on the grass than he is on the poly. And then Bring Back the Money. He didn't have the draws to compete last round, being a 16 draw, and Gould Keeps on him. Last turf run was second, so respect here now from a much better draw. And then American Landing, he had two really good runs here on the poly, 2.89 and 0, but if he can repeat that on grass, then he is a runner as well. So another tough race to get past. The sixth race is probably the potential PA banker for me in Freedom Seeker. I think he's on the up. Brewer and Smith yet again. The three Greef runners, probably his biggest danger. Bad Habit, nearest challenger by 3 worse off this Appy Klein Heron. Shane prefers Greef runner, so he deserves respect. And then Red Berry, another Greef runner, on his last run when Shane was riding was good. And Carty on the run, 3 runs before that, he ran a third year as well. So those 4 for me should be enough. Then in the 7th, I think potentially the double for Smith and Brewer is on with the previous with Freedom Seeker, but I'd like to also mention Coffee Break. Gets a much better draw now after his 12, 13, 12, 10 draws. He could be the biggest danger. His 2 runs on the turf has also been really good. Then the third one, Fast Draw, looks like the best of the rest. And Jet Mirage, he seems to not see out the distance, but he does have Kennedy to help with that, but he does seem to battle with the distance. And then the last race, now that we had the scratching of Master's Queen, I'm going with Bold Decision, the 12-to-1 only runner from the Van Vuren stable. Best bat CD, nice price to include, 3rd run rest and a 1 draw. My second choice will be Emmeline. Gets along very well with Marco. Only got 1.5 lengths on that to make up on the confirmed runner, but he does have a bad draw to beat the first choice, Bold Decision. Then Perfect Angel, since Richard Fourie originally chose on Perfect Angel and not Master's Queen, at 12-to-1 he seems to be a nice price as well. If he repeats his poly run, he's a big runner. Then Europeana is the favorite. He's got the best bat C, and he does have a gear change fitted yet again. His 2 last run has been pretty decent on these bat figures, but not as good as the ones I've mentioned. And then Diamonds and Toads, you can see he's got some decent previous form on the poly, but a tough race this, so I would include Visso's Magic and Mistress of Means also in this race as far as pick 6 is concerned. Then going further, we now also have a daily report here, and here you can just look for the potential doubles and trebles, etc., by seeing the full race card here and being able to sort on any column that you like. We've also brought in the rankings here and the ranking averages, so you can then easily see as the results come through. You'll see the results pop up here, and as they pop up you can see which trainers and jockeys are doing well. So that's another addition here. And then on the JTR detail, the P-stats here, where you can actually see the percentages the same as what you could see them in the front, is also here on the rankings. That's it from me, guys. Have a great day.